Hey guys, this is Bradley here, and in this video I'm going to share with you 3 main training principles when it comes to designing a more successful home training routine. And you're probably going to ask me, why do I need to design my own home training program, right? I never know where to put my hands when I do videos like this, so yeah, why do I need to design my own home training program when I can just go on YouTube, go on Facebook, go on Instagram Live and follow an instructor rep by rep for 45 minutes and call that an exercise routine, right? To you, I say great, because I personally know people that have never been able to successfully stick to a training program now because it's so easy to kind of just tap on your screen and follow an exercise program. They have been consistently and successfully exercising. And if you're like that, great, keep it up. But this video is specifically catered to some of my more advanced clients who have at least been training with me for the past 2-3 years, who want to see a little bit further progress that may not be achieved through the more general framework of a YouTube exercise video. So principle 1, which is going to come in the form of a question, because I think it's important for you to answer this question on your own, is what do I specifically want to achieve in the next 4 to 6 weeks of lockdown through home training? I want to highlight the word specific because in an ideal world, we would all want to have better stamina, more muscles, less fat, 8 packs and kind of all that stuff, right? I'm not saying that you cannot achieve all these goals. What I'm trying to say is you cannot achieve all these goals together. An example for myself is I want to be able to build wider lats. Lats being the muscles here, so it kind of gives you that V-shaped look. And I understand and I hear how vain this is as a goal, but I would encourage you to be as vain and as specific as you want to be, because if 2020 has given us an inkling of how life is, it is freaking unpredictable, and you should kind of just go for what you want, own it, and be okay with it. I digress, but my goal is to have wider lats. That is as specific as it is, because that means that, hey, I don't have to do a lot of cardio, I don't have to be able to run a freaking marathon, I don't have to be able to squat like really heavy weights. For now, my goal is to be able to build wider lats. I would encourage you to figure out what your specific goal is in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and it should be specific because you can really progress yourself in one narrow direction if you only have a short period of time, rather than if you would try to do every single thing. Think of this next 4 to 6 weeks as a crash course to getting you to achieve the fitness standard that you want. And for me, it is building bigger lats. For someone, it may be improving their 5-kilometer time. For someone else, it may be building bigger chest muscles or bigger arm muscles. Be specific. That's what I'm trying to say. For principle 1. Principle 2, which is also a question which you should totally answer after question 1, which I hope you did, is what are the most important steps that will lead me towards my goal? And this is the goal you answer in question 1. And for me, wider lats is a vain goal that I have. I want to look like a Dorito, essentially. Is to do pull-ups, to do chin-ups, and to do inverted rows. So these are going to be the 3 best exercises that exist out there for helping me build a wider and a stronger back. It is as specific as it is because knowing this right now, I won't have to spend so much time doing lunges or squats or running around the park, because those do not serve or do not lead me towards my goal as effectively as these 3 exercises that I just named. If your goal is to be able to improve your 5K timing or to run a 21 km by the end of the year, guess what you need to do? You need to run. It is basically just that straightforward. I know there's going to be some details to how fast you should run, how often you should run and all that, but the principle 1 and 2 is super important, because in a world where there's a huge selection of so many different things to do, I think people often get spoiled by choices, and they think that if I do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. They need to have the whole buffet of exercises and fitness activities out there. If you are specific, you have so much self-awareness that you know what you want to achieve, it's going to be much easier for you to not be overwhelmed by the plethora of choices you have out there. That's not to say that because I want to train my lats, I shouldn't train my legs at all, I shouldn't train my arms at all, I shouldn't train my stamina at all. I'm just saying that I should scale back a little bit on other aspects of fitness, that most of my effort and priority and intensity of my exercise comes when I go do my pull-ups and my inverted rows. Alright, so principle 3, which is no longer a question, I promise you, is going to be all the details that will supplement your Principle 1 and Principle 2. And the first thing I'll talk about is how often you should train, your training frequency. And if you were to ask me this as someone who goes to the gym, I will give you a very different answer if you were someone that mostly trains at home. That's because if you're training at home, I suppose if you don't have a home gym, most of what you can work with is probably just your body weight and maybe very light weights. Because you can now more effectively recover from not lifting extremely heavy weights, you should be able to train more frequently. And I should put a number on the word frequently. I would say if you can train every other day, that would be perfect. But even if you don't train 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and if you can totally recover from it, you don't feel too sore or too tired after doing those exercises, go for it. But I would say be smart with how you structure your training. How I'm training right now is Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays I train, and Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays I walk. And the next week I train on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays, and the other days that I don't train, I walk. Basically, it's just me training every other day. Because basically weekends feel like a Monday right now, and Monday kind of feel like weekends. I have the luxury of not having to work temporarily until I go broke. So what I'm trying to say is you can train as frequent as you want to, as long as you can recover from it. But you have to be very perceptive, because if you have any joint pain or any issues, you may be training too frequently. That's where you should scale back. If you have no issues with that at all, if your training is structured in a way where you can recover enough, then you should by all means train as much as you want. Because I feel like this is an advice that I feel uncomfortable giving if someone were busy or very active and training very heavily in the gym. But right now, most of us are stuck at home, or at least I am mostly glued to my desk, and I need to force myself out there, otherwise I wouldn't even take 1,000 steps a day. So train as frequent as you would like. Or should I say as frequent as you can. And the final thing I want to address in this last principle is how intense you should train. And I would encourage you over the next 6 weeks, right? Think of yourself training to be the best performer on week 6. Say for example, if you're supposed to run 21 kilometers at week 6, it would make 0 sense for you to run 21 km every other day for 6 weeks leading up to week 6. What you should aim for is gradual progression from week 1 to week 6, where your body is primed to be able to have its best performance come week 6. What I'm trying to say is you should never ever go to failure in these 6 weeks of training. Because if you go to failure on day 1, if you go to failure on day 2, day 5, week 1, week 2, chances are when it comes to week 3 onwards, your body will be so fried and so exhausted from you pushing yourself to the max. You may not be able to get the best out of your training for the last 3 weeks. This took forever for me to internalize and to apply on my own. And it may take you some form of soul searching, I would say, to be able to kind of apply this to your own life as well. Because I know we all want results fast. We want to be able to get to where we want to be ASAP because we think it might change our lives. Spoiler alert, it might. Spoiler alert, it might not. What I'm trying to say is it's more important to train enough but be more consistent than to train really hard but be set back by injuries, by fatigue and all that stuff. People who are able to train more consistently, basically 50 weeks out of the 52 weeks a year, are the ones who see the more obvious results and the more successful results, especially in the long term, next 2-3 years. Basically just train enough, train hard enough, and I would quantify hard enough as always leave about 1 to 2 reps left in the tank. So if your squat max is about 15 reps, for example, you should stop at around 14, 13. You should rest enough so that you can perform the next set and bring yourself close to that range again. Because if you were to push yourself to do 15, your next set you might drop to 10, your next set you might drop to like 5. You'd be really so exhausted that you would be better served to do 3 sets of 13 rather than 1 set of 15, 1 set of 10, 1 set of 5. So you do the math to see what's the total amount and which one is more superior. Alright? Thank you for bearing with me through this long ass meandering video. I hope you found some value out of it. And if you have any questions, leave it down in the comments, and I hope you enjoy, as hard as it is, I hope you enjoy lockdown training. See progress at home. Alright, thanks.